Hi guys. So I'm thinking I'm getting more requests to read on Alaska. So let's do that. So I'm no expert, but I did look into some of this. You know, there's a long history between Russia and America regarding the sale of Alaska to America. It seems like Russia is currently pushing that boundary. I'll give you a few headlines I came across. So Russia has announced they're going to start to really get more involved in their Arctic territory. They are saying it will be the biggest project in the modern day global oil industry. So their propaganda is building it up big time. That it will build 15 new industry towns, 2 airports, a seaport, new pipeline, 100,000 new jobs. So basically they're just saying we're really increasing our presence in this territory. They get very close to our border, and with that history and with, Trump bowing down to Putin, it makes you wonder, do we have to actually be worrying about our land? And then another interesting headline I saw, that Putin is saying he's not going to honor this provisional enforcement that was set in 1990. Basically in 1990 they agreed on a border, and he said straight up, I don't think we need to honor that border anymore. This was January 30th, 2020, this story. Gee, I didn't hear our president make any statement on this. And then the other big story, there's been a whole lot of military activity. Military drills, they call it, but it's nerve-wracking because it's getting very close to Alaska. The biggest ever such drills since Soviet times, and Russia is bragging about it. They're saying they want to boost their presence in the Arctic region and protect its resources. Ugh, creepy. We are building up our forces to ensure the economic development of the region. We are getting used to the Arctic spaces. Oh, this is creepy. I'm just trying to put a little bit of a premise there for this reading. Let's just see what we get. So with my limited understanding of the situation, is Putin eyeing Alaska? Is he eyeing actual American land? Does he want to be taking land back? Well, he would consider taking it back from America. Okay, let's see what this is. It's part of the plan for him to elbow in on American land, specifically Alaska or parts of the Arctic Sea. Ooh. Putin, Alaska. Wow, these cards are flying out. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's what I get from this. So I'll just say right off the bat, a couple things I get from this read. First of all, Putin is a psychopath. And I know that sounds scary, but the other thing I get is that the military is like almost laughing at him. He's crazy, okay? He is in such a fantasy world. I feel like he has been living in such theater that he almost doesn't know the difference anymore between reality and the theatrics in his mind. like in the movie of him, he would just be like laying on the fanciest bed in the fanciest house imaginable and just like staring at the ceiling and fantasizing that he's like taking over the world. I mean, it's just crazy. We get that now. We see the theatrics now working in our country, sadly, thanks to Donald Trump adopting them. And so don't be fooled by his propaganda and his theater in the Arctic Sea with his drills and his statements. It's all just this fantasy game he's playing in his head. So what we get here, the 3 of Cups. Yeah, so here we are. This is signifying him wanting to get his hands on pieces of the Arctic, these islands, the oil. Drink. It's like this greedy. And it's not, it's the fact that it's a 3, I think, so it's him and his oligarchs, Are there other countries eyeing this area also? And he's just one of them. Either way, there he is, and there's wanting to drink up that oil. And then covered by the hermit, which this, I feel, as our U.S. military, we've got our star here, U.S. military, watching very closely with this hermit card. And it's so interesting because we've got the snow falling, it's the Arctic. So many of these cards really visually work with the story. I feel such a sense of warmth and strength and safety in this card. And don't worry about it, you know? Like, we are watching everything so very closely, sort of at the ports or in the ships or wherever they are, they're watching so closely. You know, this is, so here we get to the, yes, he does. He wants it all. He wants it all. The world card. And I feel this to be sort of, he wants that pipeline, okay? If you remember that movie, There Will Be Blood, with Daniel Day-Lewis, and he's like, I drink your milkshake, right? Like, he wants to suck oil from American land into his own pockets. And, you know, just in general, this fantasy, maybe his fantasy is, well, you know, in the near past, so I get this nostalgia. And this is sort of ties into his nationalism and his fantasy of Russia and what he can make it to be this great thing, right? And it's sort of what we see Trump doing in America, trying to bring America back to this great thing. And we're like, no, we'd like to actually move forward. Thank you. But so Putin wanting to promise his people he's going to get, you know, Alaska back. And just tying in more into this fantasy of greatness. So weird. This tower card at the base, this is some of the military exercises that we're seeing. He's going to do, you know, and there is a purpose to it, absolutely, just like we think there is. And maybe this even also is the tower of our country right now. I mean, thanks to him, we're in chaos, like, all the time. And maybe it is all part of this. Maybe this Alaska thing is a bigger part of his fantasy. Yeah, but I think specifically this is tying into what we've seen, some of the military behaviors. And it does tie into him wanting world dominance. Oh, yeah, so here we have the Justice card coming in. And we have it coming in the, you know, near future. Like, there's not going to be a problem. And I'll tell you, I got clarifiers on this Justice card. And I'll tell you why. I want to be sure I was being, like, super thorough, because I'm like, well, if his fantasy is this Russian Empire and the Justice card being here, I'm like, is this Putin's justice? And I know really in the cards, justice is justice. But I thought maybe, I don't know. I know America's not perfect. We haven't always been fed the truth, right? Maybe America did take Alaska in some tricky way, like, which would be their propaganda. And then I got, like, a very strong, like, almost, I was almost, like, admonished by spirit, like, are you kidding me? Like, super, super strong cards saying, no. Here we have an upside down Wheel of Fortune. Like, this would be the fortunes are turning. No, the fortunes are not turning. We're not going back in time. This would be like, Putin's gonna get, you know, this 8 of Swords. He's gonna get some of that land back. No. Justice is that he gets no land. And also, here is justice. Here's more of this star. Putin can stay on his side, on his land, and watch us from afar, because that's as close as he's gonna get. And it's so interesting with all these waters, and I even see, like, ice and these mountains. Like, no. Justice is he's staying over here. He's not coming onto our land, guys. No. Ace of Swords, the Sword of Truth, with this King of Wands. This is more like what's going on in the atmosphere, the environment right now. I see this as a strong military leader, or maybe many. They know what's up. They know they are so solid, on such solid ground. They know exactly. We might worry, oh, but Trump, they don't care. They don't care what Trump says. And I don't know if, you know, I don't really see Trump here, but what I do see here is there's really some strength and resolve and knowledge and understanding, and that we shouldn't worry. And then hopes and fears, this 10 of Cups. For Putin's hopes and fears, yeah, he wants it all. This ties into his psychotic fantasies and theatrics in his mind. He just wants to have it all, and he wants this fantasy ending and completion. He's gotten all of this wealth, and everybody looks up to him, and he's so strong, and isn't everything wonderful? His fear is Biden and Harris. This is often my Biden-Harris winning the 2020 victory card. This wonderful, happy moment and future for us. So this is his fear. This definitely ties into how he will be continuing to interfere in the election to try to keep Trump in place. And you know what? Maybe this is where Trump is right here. He just wants to keep his chaos agent in place so he can, do his world things. Long-term outcome here, I get the Hierophant. Another super strong. So many major arcana here. It's crazy. And I'll show you these little side stories with these major arcana too. It's crazy. But yeah, the systems of right and wrong are going to stand strong. There's a key right here that stands out to me, like that door is staying locked. Do not worry. And I will tell you that I do see a possible scuffle out there in the waters. Here's a Knight of Swords and a Five of Wands, which, signifies charging and fighting a battle. There could be a little, I'm going to call it a scuffle. But don't be afraid if that happens. I'm sure it will trigger a lot of us. The thing I feel from this is don't worry. He's a little chihuahua who thinks he's a Great Dane. And this, more on this is the victory is going to be with America. If there's if there was any question, this is just standing the ground. And really what I get from this is they don't even really have to barely do anything, and these others just fall in fear. So whatever scuffle happens, it's not going to take much to hold that ground and to get these other bothersome ships to back off. So don't worry about that. And then at the base of this, just to further give you good news and positive outcomes, is this Sun card. Yeah, was at the base of whatever this battle is. Don't worry, it's a good end. It's a good ending. And who knows if this will be something we see, but there might be some things going on. But it all turns out strong. This is this Nine of Wands, another card of holding one's ground, staying strong, holding one's ground. I also see this here, this Four of Wands, as the Harris Biden will come in and boom, put down some serious, the military will be able to do some I can't quite figure out what this Ace of Pentacles is. It could be a new rule or law that's sort of put down upon this emperor. We're going to get tough on Putin, okay? And that's going to be important in this comes in, the law comes down on Putin a lot stronger. Just taking none of this nonsense from Putin. This being, I actually, watching back, I think this Three of Pentacles might refer to that Three of Cups in the beginning. If it's Putin and a couple big oligarchs, or whoever the three is, I think there will be, some indictments. I think that's what this is representing. We've got the Strength card and this Three of Swords being the final ending for Putin is here's our strength, and no, we're going to break your heart. You're not going to get what you want. And then after I did this clarification on the Justice card, and at the bottom of that, I saw this Fool. And here's where I really saw that he's just a psychopath living in a fantasy that is to others a little bit possibly comical, because it's if you imagine, America is this big dinner party, and we just grilled a bunch of steaks. We have it on this big platter in the middle of the table, and this little chihuahua from next door sneaks over and thinks he's gonna get these steaks, and everyone's kind of looking at this chihuahua laughing a little bit. Really? You really think you're gonna sneak over and climb up on this table in front of all of us? And this, this little chihuahua seems to think he's invisible, or that he's not gonna be stopped. And that's sort of the kind of amusement I feel. So that I get the Fool, the Death, and the Chariot. I mean, these are like 3 big cards. You know, whatever. They're going to put an end to this. And this Chariot may be tying in again to this sort of charging and this scuffle in the sea that I think might come of this. And, you know, boo-hoo, 5 of Cups, Putin will lose his oil that he's dreaming of. America wins, the star. I feel that's so strong. 10 of Swords, I think that's the end. It's the end for Putin. You know, we're going to keep our beautiful America for ourselves. Thank you very much. So that's my read on that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I swear, like, I went into this as sort of low and concerned energy, and I came out of it just feeling like really uplifted and strong and like almost just like able to almost laugh at it. I don't, you know, I apologize. I know that Putin kills people. It's not funny, but there's something light and strong to the other side of, you know, this battle. And it's just such good energy. Everything's going to be okay. If you see a scuffle, don't be concerned. Know that the might of America is seriously so much bigger. I don't feel Trump involved. He's down here creating chaos. He's not going to be involved in this military stuff. It's all good. It's all strong. So I'm happy to share that read with you guys. I hope you liked it. Let me know if you had anything stood out to you or any thoughts or feelings on this. And thanks so much for watching. I really like to share these reads, and if you like and subscribe, if you would, that would be great. And I will talk to you guys next time. Bye.